Hey guys, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello.
And welcome to Guitar Synth Madness.
I feel like we've gone back to 1970 something.
We're heading there.
Yeah.
We're well and truly on the way.
Okay, I'm going to tell you an interesting story to begin with.
All right.
My friend Roger Newell, who deserves a honk on the horn. Roger is a good friend of mine who, I'll make this quick, who worked on Bassist Magazine and Guitarist Magazine for years and years and years. Good friend, played in bands with him for years and years and years. Anyway, Roger was the first person ever to have a triple-necked Wah bass.
Wow.
A lot of people think it was Chris Squire, but Rick Wakeman gave it to Chris Squire after Roger
Really?
stopped playing in the band. Yeah. So we started proggy. I thought I would have a prog interlude there.
Very nice.
So he's there, triple neck Wah, weighed about 8 tons. Prog.
Nice.
And I think he had some synths and some things on the floor.
Right. Okay. Yes. So do you remember the Roland GR-707? The old guitar synth that had the big bar going across the top.
Another story. On the inside cover, front cover of Guitarist Magazine is Jimmy Page, cigarette, sat there with a G707 synth.
No way.
Yeah, looking up at the...
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. For me, this episode sort of follows on from the practice thing, because another thing that I'm finding helping me get out of this rut is just exploring sounds. And sounds that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get in a normal guitar situation.
No shit, if you'll permit the sweary.
But it's put me in a really good headspace, just because a lot of the things I was playing I just wouldn't play otherwise.
Yeah.
That's why I really like this, because it leads you down paths that you wouldn't otherwise be exploring.
So we're talking specifically about synthesis for guitar.
We're talking about, there's 3 main types that we're going to have a look at. Now, there are so many features in these, and I've got to change the board halfway through. So we're going to touch on them. We're not going to do an in-depth thing on every single one of them, because
we could do 3 hours on that. By the looks of it.
Of course, it's crazy. But I want to just quickly touch on the 3 areas, I think, of, they fall into 3 different categories.
Which are?
Right. So the first one is sample and hold. We have filters, and basically where the signal is simply processed to sound like a synth.
Yep. And
then we have proper oscillation, LFO type, proper synth stuff. And
presumably at some point we're going to introduce a MIDI pickup and do...
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah, so that's separate again?
That's separate again. No. So that goes to the actual proper synth.
Okay.
Using LFOs and that sort of stuff.
LFO being not an animal you find in Africa, but a low frequency oscillator.
Very good. Very good. Low frequency oscillator.
So what is synthesis?
Well, in a traditional sense, it is the combination of 2 or more things to create something new.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
But in this sense...
It's so boring, I dropped my plectrum.
But in this sense...
Putting 2 things together.
Yeah, putting 2 things together. So
like a monkey and an elephant. A
monkephant.
I don't know, is that synthesis? Or is that just morally wrong? Anyway.
But okay, when you're talking about old synths, you're talking about oscillators.
Yeah.
And then using the LFOs to create modulation, and it gives us all the old analog synthesizers. Now, we're still using the LFOs in a digital sense, but it all gets done digitally. So when we're talking about the new model of guitar synths and things, this is happening.
We're talking digital. We're not talking about Moog, big banks of things that you plug in, and loads of knobs and really cool stuff. Which
so the new breed of analog modular synths is amazing. Remember, did you see them at NAMM? Did you walk into that? Well, the Moog thing, they've sprung out of, in the last 10 years. It's gone nuts. It is amazing.
I've fallen asleep.
Okay.
It just means dance music to me.
Right.
And I know it's not just dance music. It's kind of those kind of
The Who.
When it's swampy and those sounds are cool.
Right.
But synth, dance music and all of that.
Okay,
It's like,
all right. So
whatever.
let's start then with the simplest ones. Now this is my old Digitech Synth Wah.
Oh, I had one of these.
Yes, crazy sounding thing. Now all it is it's an envelope filter, right? But it processes the sound. So if we go from, actually, we'll just do the amps today. We're using the Wobbler Bravado and the AC30, which sound like this together.
Nice.
Lovely.
I've got a guitar that I'm borrowing at the moment, which has got gold foil pickups in, which are quite cool.
Wow.
Which I've never actually heard through either of these amps at all until this moment. Interesting. They sound kind of hollow, don't they?
A bit of fuzz on that.
Finger's not quite working
A
yet.
bit of reverb.
They've got quite a cool compression to them, actually. This is a Collins 360, by the way, 360 LT with ash body maple neck, and it's very nice.
Slide players like those pickups, don't they?
They do. Raikuda used them a lot.
Ah, of course. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Right,
Moving
we
on.
digress. All right.
Yeah.
So the Synth Wah, on its own, sounds like this.
Whey!
So it has the six different types of
Yeah.
synthy things.
2 envelopes by the looks of things.
Yep.
Like that. Joey Landreth, this is for you.
It's such a great sound.
It's too cool. John Mayer would like that. Okay, so that was envelope up. This is envelope down.
Oh, it's hard.
Is your mouth going yet?
Yeah.
I'm
Cool,
going, yeah. Okay, right, that was envelope down. This is the synth, which I believe we heard before.
Now, the range and all the controls interact differently with all the different modes in this thing. But what I really like to do is incorporate that with an overdrive as well. So if you get the sound here, that's great. Put a fuzz in front of it. It's such a amazing sound.
It just sounds like science fiction, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's great.
So I'm already dreading this. One of the issues that I guess we'll come on to talk about. I'm already dreading doing the audio for this because the frequency range here is
Colossal.
It's so different from any normal guitar sound, right? Because we've got bass frequencies way below, or at least at a different strength
Yep.
Talking about bass frequencies and strength, there I go again. On my own. And treble frequencies, as you heard with the filter down, as we had there.
Mm-hmm. So, it's a simple entry level when you're talking about starting to explore some of these sounds. It's fantastic. I use it when I was doing some Rush tunes and that, and I was copying some synth lines. It was great.
They're still available, I believe, as well.
Still available, yep.
Yeah, so that's all good. We didn't get. Let's just finish off going through the modes. We did synth 2, you heard that. So this is filter 1.
Just great.
This is filter 2. And an auto wah.
There we go. Yeah. So it's great.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. It also makes me think of TV theme tunes for reasons I don't know, like Rhubarb and Custard and Grunge Hill and all that. Is that right? Which is there's a setting on here. It's particularly good for Albert King licks, I find. Actually tracks pretty good, doesn't it?
Great.
And of course you can play atonal rubbish with a...
And it's awesome. It's awesome. So that's the idea behind these, the processing one. We'll go from that. We'll have a quick look at the so this is new. This is the Synth 9 from Electro-Harmonix. So
have you any idea why they're all called 9 out of interest? So you've got the C9 and the B9 and they do a dog one, K9.
very good.
But there's the organ ones are all called something 9, aren't they?
Right.
C9, B9. Has it got 9 modes? Yes!
Well done. So this is a really interesting. Bit of fuzz into that.
So presumably you can control how quick it goes up and down. So if you can't see it, by the way, it's obviously probably being obscured by the by this pedal, but we will do a close-up of it so you can see it a little bit better.
Yeah, but it has basically, this is emulating a bunch of old type synths. So this is an old Prophet. But so one thing about this is you have the dry signal, which is the guitar thing, and then you have the synth signal. So this is without any dry signal. That's so cool.
I think we've got an Erasure and Depeche Mode tribute band next week.
It's going to happen. I'll bring the arseless chaps.
Okay. Keep going, there's more modes to go yet.
All right.
At this point, you're watching going, where could you ever use that? But actually, if you don't have a keyboard player in your band...
So I don't even think it's that. I just think it's different textures.
And a certain era of music as well. So if you're doing 80s stuff, if you're doing 70s stuff...
But there's so much of those sounds that are actually, like, current now.
Yeah, you'd hear all over pop music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Especially at the bass end of it all.
Yeah. So bass has been for the bass synth, especially because of Moog bass sounds and things like that. Moog bass sounds. Bass has been using like bass synth for a long time.
Mm. Well, back to my dear friend Roger. That's when that all started, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where they'd have those rows of bass pedals on the floor to do all those kind of sounds.
Yep. So they're two examples of the emulation type thing.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the sample and hold type ones. So the one I want to have a look at is the Superego. This is really cool. So what it does is it grabs a little snippet of your sound.
Yeah.
And then just holds it, and you can do descendo and that sort of stuff. So this is the synth engine, the Superego.
That's very cool.
It's very cool. And so there are a number of different modes there. We've got that's the auto mode.
Yeah.
If we go on to the center mode, that becomes like a momentary mode. So if I
Quick question out to Converse. Can you make more of these, please? I really like them. I can't find them anywhere. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. So so latching and momentary,
and then the latching just grabs those notes.
So, Joe, who works for Dan in customer service at the TheGigRig, was telling me that he uses it in this mode.
Right.
So he uses it on the latch mode, and it took me a little while just to work it out there, but it latches at the point you press it.
Right.
It seems.
Yeah,
Just try that again.
It also has an effects loop so that you can take that effective sound and put it through anything else as well.
So you could put a delay or another filter or any,
all that stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a, do you remember their the freeze pedal?
Yeah.
So it's a step beyond that.
Yeah.
It's a very, very cool thing. Now, looking at that sort of sample thing again, we now go to this thing. This is the Infinite Jets by Hologram. And this, what this does is it samples 2 different parts of the note and then randomly blends them and creates some of the most amazing...
Hang on. 2 different parts of the note?
So it might grab the front of the note and then the sustained part of the note, but it grabs 2 samples.
And can you tell it which parts to grab?
You can...
Oh, because you've got an envelope time.
It is random by design.
Yeah.
But there are, what you can do with it as far as changing the way it sounds and stuff. But this is just after a couple of minutes of fiddling around with this.
Movie soundtrack stuff.
Soundtrack stuff. I love that. I find it so inspiring.
So what Dan was saying right at the top of the video there was, we recently did a video on practice tools, very simple practice tools to help you, feel inspired and improve your playing and all that. And this is at the other end of that spectrum, isn't it? This isn't about learning scales and playing over chord shapes, learning your changes and doing all that stuff that makes your brain want to explode. This is about just straight experimentation.
Exactly.
Really cool.
Yeah.
People must make albums of this stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, look. I'm specifically not using a delay today. I'm adding a little bit of reverb with the MXR, but I'm specifically not using delay just so that you can hear, because otherwise, delay. You can imagine delay and reverb with that thing.
Yeah. At which point everyone's going, put some delay on. So we'll do that before the end.
Now, the Hog 2. Now this is
Hang on. Just before we go on.
okay.
There was a couple of other foot switches on here. Have you any idea what they do?
So you can have 2 presets with this.
A and B, obviously.
Yeah. So, and then we've got, okay, in poly mode.
Actually, that's a good question. How many of these are polyphonic? For anyone who doesn't know, that means if you play more than one note, it will work.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a sample and hold thing. So
it is by definition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a sample and hold thing, and this is polyphonic as well.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So
that means you can play. Sorry for being oversimplistic. That means you can play chords with it if you want to.
Yeah. It says we've got poly and mono on here. Now what this means is, in poly mode, those 2 samples are blended together. So if we go, you're here, it's sampling here, you'll see the lights come on. So it's just blending those together. But if we put it in mono mode, what happens is it doesn't go into the sample B until it's done with sample A.
So in that sense, it was changing as you were changing.
Yeah.
So every time you changed, it changed.
Yeah, exactly. It grabbed the sample at the front of the
And
note.
then drive and dry. What's that? Is there just some kind of?
So this is the dry signal. So without any dry signal, it's just the.
That's really interesting because obviously not having the dry signal in there is quite important to synth sounds if you want them only to sound like a synth.
Yeah.
Compared with most guitar effects where you want a blend of your guitar and the affected signal, in this case to have that completely dry out makes, wet only out makes a huge amount of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So again, this is a brief overview. We're not, we could spend a month on this thing. It's crazy.
I've got one final question before we move on to the Hog.
Yeah.
Expression pedals.
Yes.
So you can use expression pedals with this one.
No.
Not that one.
No. Just these 2 at the moment.
That's surprising. I thought they'd be expression.
Yeah,
But you can with that.
You can with that.
And you can assign it to a particular parameter.
Yes. You can do things with this. You can track the knob movements. So you can record and change the knobs, and then as you play, it will automatically.
Is that done by MIDI?
No, it's just done using the software and stuff they developed.
That's clever.
It's so clever. I mean, you can lose yourself in this thing. It's really great. But let's have a look at the Hog 2. Most people have, if they don't know this, have at least seen it. It's such a unique looking.
It brings back pleasant memories for me. So. I had a Pog when they first came out. Do you remember the first Pog, which was the silver top one?
Yep.
Poly octave generator.
Yes.
What is Hog then?
Harmonic octave generator.
Okay.
It has, so the Pog has got, you have octaves and things. This also has fifths and thirds. It also has an envelope filter on it. It's, to be honest, it's similar to the Pog, but with the different, it goes up to +4 octaves.
Right.
It's
Come on, then, let's start from the beginning. Okay. Give us a clue.
At the moment, I have the expression pedal on.
Right.
And it's on the freezing bliss setting. So
I don't go to many churches, but when I go, the church organ always sounds like that.
that's
Like a load of wrong notes.
But you can do, so you get the octave bend.
So like a whammy.
Exactly. Step bends. And the filter. This filter's cool. Oh, come on, you. Ah! And stop. Which is basically sweeping the frequency. It's great. But put a fuzz on with that.
Absolutely unbelievable levels of...
Oh, I feel a bit ill.
Yeah, that was... And actually, this is why I stopped using my Synth Wah and my Pog. And as we're going to get onto in a minute, if we've got time, 35 minutes, yeah, we probably have. The synth thing, because the frequencies you're dealing with, I said this before, I'm going to say it again, are just so far and away from...
Amazing.
So you just need to be aware of that.
Yep.
And that's about volume, it's about EQ settings, it's about... Can we just rewind a sec for this?
Yep.
And just explain briefly for anyone who doesn't know what this kind of thing does. So can you turn the... Just stick it in normal mode.
All right. I'm going to undo the distortion pedal.
Yeah, I think this is interesting.
Okay. So let's put everything to sort of normal. All right. So
what's is filter the normal mode?
Well, because we don't have anything plugged into the... This is the
okay,
pedal.
fine.
Tell you what. Okay, right. So if I pull down the dry output, so now all we're going to hear is the effect sound. Okay. So if we have the -2 octaves. Yeah. -1 octave. The original sound. The original frequency, because it doesn't it's still affected. It's still going through the filters and things. The fifth. So we can have the original fifth.
So you get power chord.
Power chord. Then the +1 octave. Plus octave and fifth. +2 octaves. Plus the second octave and a third. Major third. Oh man!
Right, you play, I'm going to fiddle. This sounds like fun. So. Right, next question. So you see what happens. Each one of those sliders, as Dan explains, controls a different frequency in relation to the notes and chords you're playing, because it is polyphonic.
Yes, and have you seen the drawbars on an organ?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing.
That's what they do.
Yep.
Okay, and there's also a high pass filter here, which was cutting off the low end.
Exactly.
Yeah, which was very cool. Can it overdrive?
So, no, it doesn't overdrive, but with that sound that we've got there, right? Turn the volume down on the fuzz. I'm going to put the fuzz. Let me put this before the fuzz. And put the... Fun.
Minutes of fun.
Yeah. But with this, you can get an external foot switch that gives you 99 presets and,
99 presets and a sound ain't one.
Yeah. But they're great.
Yeah. There's a very meaty car outside. Some sort of V8 by the sounds of things.
We're in England, dude. We don't do V8s here.
Something pretty meaty.
Someone's grabbed the screwdriver and put the holes
in the exhaust. Cherry bomb for anyone of a certain... it was a thing you used to put on minis back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we've got the one more major dude.
Synthesis group.
Yep. So
okay.
we'll do that.
The fear is here.
Okay.
Finger snap?
Yep. 3, 2, 1. And we're back in the room. So, now, this is...
I don't need this anymore.
You don't need that anymore, just for the time being. This is the GR-55. Now, when we're talking before about the Roland GR-707 and that sort of stuff, so this is the latest in that breed of guitar synth. So what we've got, this is a Roland GK3 MIDI pickup. Okay, I've committed to this, so because this is something that I've wanted to explore for a while. I was at my dear friend Paul Stacey's house, and he has this amazing. Oh, sorry, it's all right. He has this amazing MIDI synth setup, and I'd done this in my youth with an old GK2A pickup and on an old Strat, and it was all right. But I was at Paul's place, and he'd programmed a bunch of sounds into one of these, and also a bunch of other external synths. And I sat down there with this guitar, and honestly, mate, I was completely lost, and it was incredible.
So, okay, let's just to make it super simple for anyone who doesn't know what's happening here. Before we changed over, the other pedals that we were using are digital pedals that use the guitar's pickups, so the signal from your guitar's regular pickups hit those pedals and it processes them in the way that any other digital device would.
Mm-hmm.
We've moved on here, as Dan explained. This device, in order to do the synthesis part, does not use your guitar's regular pickups. It uses this, which, as he explained, sorry for going over it again, but if you've never seen one, it bears repeating, is a MIDI pickup. So it senses the vibrations of your strings, turns them into MIDI information.
Well, there's a 6 independent pickups.
Yeah.
Right. That sends the signal it needs down through this 30-pin cable into there, which does all of the.
So it
conversion
records things like velocity, all the things that is available within MIDI, velocity, pitch.
Yep.
Etc. 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 It can be a little bit of a fiddle to get it set up exactly right for the guitar,
Yes.
because in terms of string output and sensitivity and all of that, and just getting it to work right. And as Dan says, it then, dear Roland, why does it have to look like that?
I mean,
Honestly, the amount of computing power in this,
yeah,
and that's even with a flipping massive battery on it. The amount of computing power in that is colossal. So why does it have to look like that?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's mixed moan for this.
Oh yes, the new bit. That's awesome. That is awesome. Mix Moan, brought to you by Panadol.
Excellent. I'm going to make a jingle for that. So yeah, and then it heads off down this here MIDI cable into the GR-55 or whatever other Roland GK equipped MIDI device you're using, and there have been many over the years. In addition, there is as you can see, there's a thing here that goes from the guitar into that, and it sends out a guitar signal as well, should you wish.
Yeah. So right, this for me, this is at the. All this sort of stuff is fine. It sounds great. This is where guitar synthesis is, where you no longer are playing a guitar. You're playing a different thing.
Regular viewers won't believe this, but I too have been down this road.
Really?
Yeah. Somewhere in the bowels of Guitarist magazine is a Godin LG, really nice guitar actually.
Godin,
all mahogany.
Yeah,
really great neck.
They're great guitars
with a GK3 pickup on it, which I tried in my band for a while, and for all the reasons we were talking about earlier, just could not make the frequencies work without a sound man and good monitoring. So, sound engineer and good monitoring. So I stopped doing that. Sure.
So you get, some interesting sounds. That's a sitar. This is the heavy pole.
I just want to point out that I did something.
You did?
And got the desired effect.
I'm so proud.
Rewind.
Okay, now...
You can make it sound like a piano.
You can make it sound like a piano, but...
Or a violin.
You can. Personally...
Marimba?
Yes.
Saxophone?
All that stuff.
Please, can we do that?
We can. Just to say, I personally have zero interest in any of that stuff. For me, what this is used for is...
See you next week.
No, it's... Come back, Mick. I miss you. What I use this for, like, imagine a sound like that, blends it in on top of an octave fuzz.
Yeah,
right?
It's very cool.
Yeah, but then I put the sound together, especially for you, because I thought you'd really like it.
Do you always get an ow?
Yeah, and everyone Hang on, chords.
No. No! Let me have a go. Let me have a go. Oh, I see. I never have to do a George Benson impression ever again. What is that? That neck is absolutely colossal.
So, my dear friend Tom Gray from Gray Guitars made this for me. Because I was really serious about doing this properly.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a telly guy, but I wanted a telly, but I wanted a telly specifically to use with this, right?
Yeah.
So it is. I mean, look at that neck.
That's roasted maple.
It is just amazing, and it's because I like a thick neck, so they don't get much thicker than that.
I'm just going to hold that up for the camera. That was genuine fear.
Yeah, it's really beautiful,
How
but
nice
it's
is
also got a what do you call that thing?
A contour.
A contour.
A belly
Okay.
contour.
A belly contour. Okay, because I'm not a Strat guy, so this is all
Check
new.
these contours out.
Oh wow,
Kind of modernist.
it is. It's lovely.
Shame about the dings.
Shame about the things. But so anyway, yeah. So he made this, and it's got it's basically everything I love about Telecasters, but with all the modern stuff. So
Just like to point out.
these are Lindy Fralins.
I'd just like to point out it's not a Telecaster. Telecaster is a registered trademark of Fender Musical Instruments Corporation.
Nailed it.
Oh, that was the central scrutinizer, by the way. For any Frank Zappa fans.
Very good. Yeah, so, things like the neck adjustment thing there, which I really like, the Music Man type thing.
Yeah.
But, great wood. So, as a standard T-style guitar,
Yes, thank you.
it's awesome. But for doing, for the MIDI thing, it's just, it's awesome.
Also handily has the half bridge arrangement there, which you'll see on a Tom Anderson style guitar of this type. I don't know if Tom Anderson was the first person to start doing it. I would imagine it was probably first done on a Fender guitar where somebody had sawn the bridge off
Right.
in order to stop the microphonic feedback that you get having the bridge pickup. Sorry, this is a massive tangent. Having the bridge pickup mounted in the metal bridge plate really helps that microphonic feedback.
Really?
Yeah, that's why G.E. Smith has got it done on his. He's got the bridge sawn off. So the pickup sits in the body rather than in the metal bridge.
Okay.
But of course, it gives you a nice position there for your
It does.
your MIDI pickup.
Yeah,
For your attractive, not at all intrusive MIDI pickup.
Yes. You barely notice it.
You barely notice it.
Just, I'm going to take this on
Mix mode.
I'm gonna spray paint it white. Just spray paint the whole thing white, stick it back on there. But anyway, so
Please, can you just make it sound like a piano?
yes, I can. Well, first of all,
Yeah, let's just go through a few.
the violin tone. Let's do
Yeah.
bass, flute, sax trio.
Hands up, who does not want that?
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
Come on, you may as well, as soon as we're there. was that? What was that? Fab Four together. Oh, I like that.
One of the things, having the six different pickups in here, you can separate the strings.
Yeah, yeah.
And assign them to
Which
to
is what that
thing.
last bass flute sax was doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Go back to aggro clav. Wasn't that this? I don't actually know that. No.
I think what we can do is
all
just,
day long.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
we
when
do-
you were flying the Starship Enterprise there,
Yeah.
that's the first time I've ever seen a really nice graphic interface for that.
Dude,
I haven't seen that before.
It's amazing. Oh.
Just keep going.
Sorry, tap dance guitar.
Keep going.
Oh. So another thing is now I'm in a different tuning, so it retunes the guitars.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. You play jazz flute? Right.
So the thing with this, you've got there's two different LFOs in there. You can go in there and the depth of this thing is it's a whole multi-effects thing as well. So you can, you know.
Yeah, so it can retune your guitar. It can do
All that
every
stuff.
kind of synthesis.
All
It's
that
got
stuff.
a million different effects in it. It looks like it's got a looper in there as well.
Yeah.
What else have we got on the back here? We've got headphones, V-Link, which is to do with Roland's whole world of connectivity.
And it
It's
also
got
has
USB out.
Yeah,
It's got,
the standard guitar out, so I can take that, go through the board with the standard guitar,
Yeah.
but still mix that with the synth sounds.
Yeah.
It's yeah. It's it's a lot of fun, but for me, it just gets me out of guitar head and trying to explore some music stuff, just to help me go down a few different paths.
So, tippy-toe through the world of guitar synth.
Oh, there's also one thing we didn't mention is the SY300, which is another. It's a great synth. You don't need a
Doesn't require a thing.
doesn't require a thing, but it's not. It doesn't. It's not using samples. Like this is using samples.
Yeah.
Like a synth does. what that does is it uses filters and still uses the LFOs, but it's filtering the actual guitar sound. So it's a whole different thing.
Whole different thing, different video, another time.
Yeah.
Good, okay. I say a tippy toe through the world of guitar synthesis. More like an hour and however long through the world of guitar synthesis.
Yeah.
So I think we should leave it there.
Okay.
Maybe we'll return to this one day.
Yeah. Well,
This will be going cheap on eBay soon. So
I'm invested. I'm invested. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm having a blast.
Yeah. We'll do our usual thank yous. Thank you to the exclusive preferred retailers, Andertons, Rift City, and Pedal Empire. We'll say thank you to our Patreons.
Yes,
for,
thank guys.
Crowdfunding for creatives. Thank you very much for all the help you give us there. And we have some new T-shirts in the store. Should you be in need of a garment to wear?
Perfect.
Yes. Good.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you soon.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Second floor, lingerie. Third floor, homewares. First floor, electricals and menswear. Please note there's 20% off all guitar synthesizers today. Thank you.